Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Stuck in a Truck. As always, got to start out with a little bit of gratitude. So, thank you all for watching, loving, sharing, liking, checking us out on BLK9 TV on YouTube. It truly means the world as we continue moving on, as I say it every week, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this. I mean, this is no joke. I truly feel inspired to give you the information that I believe has led me to where I am and where I continue to go. So, just thank you. Thank you all for continuing to do this. It really means a lot. I did figure out last week my episode, the internet was really cruddy. So it wasn't that great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to probably re-record it and just put it right back out on the YouTube. So we'll stand by for that one. I thought it was a pretty good episode. We'll go over it again when I do over it. But the internet made it choppy. I do apologize. So we'll go from there. Today's episode is going to be dedicated to the fact of knowing how you can create your outcomes. Okay. So the thing is that we talked about a few weeks ago that you need to take responsibility for your actions. We talk about how you get to determine these different things. Well, today we're going to go over the three ways that you are fully capable of deciding the outcomes in your life. And there are three easy steps. It's not something ridiculous. It's not a thing. It's more of an understanding to make you a better decision maker. Because at the end of the day, our decisions are what has the major impact on us every day. What we do, what we decide to do with our time. Do we allow our time to go to, social media and drama and stuff that doesn't actually affect us? Or do we allow our time to be utilized in building ourselves and moving to that next level? It's important to realize this because we decide what we're allowing in and allowing out. And a lot of people don't realize that, especially, I listen to people talking, complaining about certain stuff. And, I have to tell them, they're like, well, Mike, why doesn't it bother you? And I'm like, well, it's simple. It doesn't affect me because one, I don't allow it to affect me, but two, I can't do anything about it. So I'm going to do and have the influence over the things that I have those controls over. And then I hope that you would do the things that you have that control over and we can meet in the middle and can all be great. That's where it comes down to. So without any further ado, we come to a red light here. I can look at my notes to let you know what the three ways of creating your own outcome are. So we're going to go at number one. And number one is by what you did. As I said, it's about making proper decisions and making better decisions for your successes. So when you make a decision to do something, you have to remember there's going to be a consequence that comes with that. There's going to be a positive and negative. There's going to be an influence over others. So the way you make your decision is going to have a big impact across the board. It can have an impact for something right then and there. And the best way to describe this is a quote that I literally love to death. It was by Zig Ziglar, which is that most people trade what they want most for what they want now. So again, the chief cause of failure, this is exactly the quote. The chief cause of failure is trading what you want most for what you want now. And that's from Zig Ziglar. And I can tell you, that has got to be one of the most impactful quotes I've ever heard in my life. Because every single time I've always like, oh, I really want that new car. Well, that new car is going to lead to higher car payments and me being car broke, which means I'm not going to have the ability to afford other things. And if I can't afford other things, then my outcome is going to suck because I can't do other things, but I have a car that's sitting in my driveway. So the other thing would be is like, hey, I work for a company, but I decided to do the trade on the side to make extra money for myself, not pay for the company. Well, I don't understand why the company's not giving me health and care or doing this or doing that. Well, how can the company afford those things if you're making sales on the side? How can somebody be loyal to you if you're not loyal to them? So you got to think about when you make decisions, how much of an impact that is having across the board for not only you, but the others around you. Because again, your decision may make somebody else have to make a decision. So if you're disloyal, they're disloyal. If you are hurtful, they're hurtful. Everything that you do is going to decide a level of an outcome. Now, number two, by what you didn't do. Think about that one. So not only did you make a decision to do something, but what happens? You made a decision not to do something. Well, it's the same stuff that's going to happen. And that's why decision making is a key. Trying to outweigh the positive and negatives. Because why? What you decide to do is going to have an impact. What you decide not to do is going to have an impact. And sometimes the things that you decide not to do, you should be equally proud of the things that you do decide to do. And I can only use Steve Jobs, for example. He has a quote saying, he was interviewed, and in the interview he asked, and I'm sorry about the quote, he was interviewed and was asked, what are some of the most valuable things that you've accomplished or am proud of? And he said, I'm just as proud of everything I did as I am all the things I didn't do. And let's think that in for a second. Here's Steve Jobs, Apple, Pixar, all these things. What made that incredible was the fact that here's a man that probably had millions of opportunities sitting on his table, millions of things that he could have discussed, jumped into, and made more and more money. But instead, he turned around and said no, and he perfected the things that he did create, the things that he did build. And that's something that you really want to think about, because how often are we faced with decisions of, are we going to take the promotion? Are we not going to take the promotion? Are we buying a new car? Are we not buying a new car? Are we buying a new rug? Not buying a new rug? Are we investing in this stock or company? Are we going to invest in ourselves and start our own business? These are a lot of decisions that you have to think about. And every decision that you make, positive, negative, so yes or no, it's still going to have an impact. No matter what, you have to have both sides of the coin in order to create the coin. And a lot of people don't realize that. You just can't have yeses and you just can't have nos. There's no such thing as correction without reward. And there's no such thing as reward without correction. So that means every decision that we make, there's always going to be a double side right there. There's always going to be a positive and negative to every decision. Good, bad, left, right, it doesn't matter. So remember, you get to curve these outcomes by the decisions we make and don't make. So make sure every time you're faced with a decision, you do tons of research, figure it out as quickly as possible, because time is a factor. So you want to make sure you're doing that. And my last and favorite one about this is how to respond what happened to you. This is really good, because you think about how often we always turn around and we say people screwed us over, or it wasn't good or something like that. But how often we've also gotten maybe a gift basket, a thank you card, something of genuine appreciation. And the question always comes down to is, what did you do afterwards? You know, what did you allow to occur after that is a really important question to ask. Because here's the thing. If somebody gives you a gift and you do not appreciate or say thank you, your gift stops. If somebody was hurtful to you but you dwell on it, where are you going? Well, then you're going to be stuck. So the question is always this. When we decide the outcomes in our life, do we want to become successful? Do we want more money in our pockets? Do we want more freedom and time? Do we want more tangible items? Do we want to have more ability to make freedom decisions? Well, then you have to start asking yourself is very simple things. What do I want? And if I make this decision, what is it going to cost me? If I don't make this decision, what's it going to cost me? And obviously, if somebody hurts you, are you going to allow yourself to dwell on that? Or are you going to step up and continue moving forward? Because that's the big thing, is that you have to always look at it going, what's the big gist, right? And we can always go out there, help each other, build each other, be successful with one another. But at the end of the day, if you're dwelling on all the people that have hurt you or have done you wrong, then you're going to lose out, because they're winning. And they're winning because you're dwelling on them instead of doing what you're good at. And that's being successful, making good decisions, helping others. And that's why you want to continue moving forward. The easiest thing to do is cut the people out of your life. If they didn't fulfill the rules that you've set forth, then get them out of your life. That way, you can continue moving forward. You don't waste any time, energy, or anything of the sort. And you continue going the direction that you want to go. So those are the 3 easy steps to deciding every outcome in your life. They're because of what you chose to do, what you didn't choose to do, and what you did when people did things to you. Those are the three things. Your reaction is the key, right, to being successful here. Now, if you go back, you take everything I'm teaching you so far, you can really start to see if you implement it over a small period of time. Now, listen, this is no joke. All right. Every tip I've given you, every week I've been doing this. If you would have taken that tip and done it for 7 days in a row, you would have seen the results. And if you would have continued doing that for 30 more days, it would have become a habit and your successes would have continued to grow. When things start to feel rough, don't quit. You're about to have your breakthrough. When you don't feel like it's getting you what you want, don't give up. Don't change. Don't trade. People do that so often because they want that instant gratification. Listen, it took you time to get fat. It's going to take you time to get skinny. There is no magic pill. There is nothing you can do that's going to drop the weight dramatically, keep it off in a healthy manner. You put the weight on, let it take the time to get the weight off. Take your time, put these steps in place. Remember, make the good, solid decisions. Those are the things that are going to get you to the next point. If you make a bad decision, screw it. All it's going to do is give you another decision. That I know for a fact. Every bad decision I've ever made in my life only led to another decision. Every good decision I made led to a reward. So the worst thing that can happen, worst, when you make a bad decision, is you have to make another one. That's it. So stop fearing it. Stop worrying about what can go wrong, because the truth be told is only going to lead to another decision. That's it from me. Enjoy your week. I hope you got through this one so far. Happy hump day, and I'll see you all next week for another episode of Stuck in a Truck.